it, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So if it's important to you to receive that value, then in my opinion, you'll be here, right? So that's a long-winded way of saying I'm not recording this webinar tonight. Now, as you see on the screen, here's the infamous headline that really made its mark on me when I was first getting online looking for ways to make money on the internet. Okay, my story was I got out of graduate school and I was going to do an internship and recently divorced, and I was eating dinner at my dad's house on Thanksgiving. Like, I mean, this was a very transformational point in my life, of course, and I hope that you have a similar experience. But I got online and I saw this old bald dude, about 45 or so, and he had shorts on that were just grotesquely too short. He had a bald head, and he was standing beside this yellow Corvette that he had clearly rented. And the headline of the lead capture page says, "How to make $1 million in home in the next 6 months working part-time doing absolutely nothing." So that was my first introduction to copywriting. Now, study the structure of how I like in the next 6 months working part-time doing absolutely nothing. So I share that with you simply because, not because it's obnoxious or cheesy or because I want to always be funny. It's because the fact is there's actually something to teach you. Potatoes and the content of this than prison. Maui is not this community a little while back, maybe a month. Well, the reason I point this out is that Maui is nicer than prison. And with proper focus and desire and a dedication from you, room, right? The technology stuff. And I could go on and giving you days, and it's just kind of out of my control. We're getting there. We're almost there. But you remember James Arthur Ray? James Arthur Ray was in the movie The Secret. Arizona, about because of that one event. Unfortunately, we might, I guess. It's sad. It sucks. What did that do to James Arthur Ray? Not. He just had to become more. Not in prison either. Somewhere in between. You've probably seen the depths each of our personalities. It's just a Southern thing, but it's actually the experiences that come from the depths and the contrast of just life. I have this on my wall, and I want to share it with you. Now, I do realize that I'm getting a bit off topic, but please bear with me because this does have a point. And I want you to understand that your prison in the past can be instantly almost transformed. We're going to take this very stepwise, a stepwise process to the pictures of your matter. So stay with me for just a second. But on a 3x5 postcard on my wall. I'm old school, man. I love 3x5 postcards. I really wish a lot of you could see the notebooks and the journals and just the composition books from Walmart that are just filled. And by the way, my corkboard is literally a piece of cardboard from a cardboard box from a TV set. That cardboard box, and it has like thumbtacks all the way around it, and it's going up to the wall, and all of these 3x5 cards. Okay. So I'm not a very fancy out of the depths. Their presence has an appreciation, a sincerity, and an statement, which says the purpose of my life is to humbly serve our Lord by being a loving, powerful, and passionate example of the absolute joy that is available to each of us the moment we rejoice in God's gifts and sincerely love and enjoy all of his creations. The four virtues that I like to apply are courage, faith, compassion, and determination. So I wanted to set the tone for this webinar tonight with the time that we have. I want to ultimately get you to a method of operation that will allow you to, with your intention, with your desires, to create a process that you can follow beginning today, beginning tomorrow, and to allow that creation of your right here to pull you forward. The quote on the screen, the quality of our life is absolutely directly proportional to the amount of uncertainty that we can comfortably deal with. That actually comes from Tony Robbins. So if you're going through a tremendous amount of pain in your life, everyone goes through that. You know, some of you know me by this point fairly well. And you say, wow, you know, I literally had the nicest comments today. I had a very interesting and very thought-provoking, I literally knelt down in prayer after receiving this, saying thank you. It was a voicemail saying, Jason, you know, we know what you're going through. We've got your back. I was appreciative of that. I got a Skype message that said something similar from another one of our people, and I just want to say I acknowledge that, and I want to say thank you. With all of your life, if I just continue my life, where attention goes. Listen, folks, you must be wise. You must use that wisdom and be wise with whom you choose to associate. It's what Hockman last night talked about so eloquently on her call. It's what we went and alluded to on our wake-up call this morning. It is absolutely the fact, it's so that, in fact, you can add up the incomes of the 5 people that you most closely associate with, formulate an average, and your income will be plus or minus 15%. You see, that's why it's important to go to live events and stuff. I mean, you really want to immerse your 6- and 7-figure income earners. Hell, 10-figure. I don't give a damn. Go for $1 trillion earners if you can find them. There ain't very many of them in the world, but if you can get access to them, immerse yourself in them, that by universal law will happen to you as well. But again, Maui is much better than prison. If you've ever been in prison, if you've ever had a tremendous amount of uncertainty, if you've ever had more than they already have. That was, you're not going to die. Your mother is 20 miles down the road, dude. Your father is 2 hours away. You've got family in this town. They don't like you anymore, Jason. Now, I love these people, right? I love my family. But there's a reason. There's a reason. And I just had to understand that no matter what they said, they could not hurt me any more than they already had. I did not at that point give a damn. It did not matter to me what they thought of me. Whatever they thought of me was their business. It's none of my business. I have nothing to do with the way they think of me. They probably weren't losing any sleep over me in the first place. They probably weren't thinking of me like I hoped that they would be. You know, I think if we'll just kind of understand that people actually do what you do. They don't really care what you put out on Facebook. They don't really care where you go on the weekends. They don't really care who you're married to or who. They really don't care. It's not that they're narcissistic. It's just the way that it is. In fact, we are the narcissists. Remember, clarity. That is your purpose. Where did you come from? Why are you here? Where are you going? That has nothing to do with other people. Even in network marketing. Go back and listen to Ray Higdon's interview on the Wake Up to Success call. Listen to the way he frames it with other people. He says very stately, I'm doing this, are you in or you out? It doesn't matter to me whether you're in or you're out. I'm doing this. Remember, clarity and, write this down please, consistency. So we must realize that there are no failures. There is no failure when you identify a purpose, a passion, a life. When you answer the question, why am I here and where am I going? There are no failures anymore. You ever see the headlines, right? 97% of all home business owners fail. I'm going to tell you that if you will take my advice, if you will finally take someone's advice, and if that happens to be me tonight, let me just tell you something that will eliminate failure completely. Where am I going? This one girl, her name uh, had been to seminars with Brian Clemmer, who is the author of the book The Compassionate Samurai, a very fantabulous individual. The seminars were pretty good. Now, I'd certainly been to better, but he was really good, especially in the corporate stuff. And anyway, so Sunshine had been trained in this, and she got up to like one of these certified trainers in this course or whatever. Anyway, so she had big ideas. She had big goals, big dreams of what she wanted to do. But she was a fourth grade teacher. Making $250,000 a year is not possible when you're making 35 grand as a teacher. So we start to focus that these 250 doing what we love to do, to stand proudly behind who we are, to freely and creatively express ourselves, to feel great about it, and to receive our abundance through the value that we provide to others. Very simple. So how did she do that? First, she identified some problems in the market. The market being in her classroom. Students weren't learning much about American history. They weren't really engaged upon free thinking processes at all, right? I mean, even in fourth grade. There's a lot of stuff that was left out of the curriculum. Plus, she also identified that the students in her classroom, or excuse me, the parents of the students were having a hard time communicating to the students about what was going on in life and how to really help them. I mean, she just noticed this disconnect between the communication of the student, the teacher, and the parent. So what did she do? She formulates this great idea for a virtual classroom where she is now in this virtual. This would be so easy. I mean, you want like a really good idea. It really didn't cost anything. In fact, we used a platform called right? And they also like to see each other. They thought streaming video is very cool. And we found out that they could also present what the lessons that they're learning through this curriculum to the other students. So we figured this virtual classroom. Now, by the way, Google Hangouts gives you this ability today. Already, it's free. You can go right now and do it. In fact, the more I converse with these top marketers, really, the top marketers, I'm giving you like the insider secrets live and in person right now. These top marketers are figuring out ways on how to best implement and utilize Google Plus and Hangouts in their business because they're all convinced that Google Hangouts will revolutionize the way that we do business in this industry in about 6 months from now. Now, they're not innovating on the platform. They're just figuring out how best to converse and communicate with it. Google Hangouts. Try it. So by solving those problems and creating the curriculum and having the students present their stuff, she also produced a 45-minute podcast. Here's what your students are learning this week. Here's some ways that you can converse about this lesson with you so that they get the most value out of it. And here's some of the ways that you can apply this lesson in your own life. For example, George Washington. George Washington chopped down the cherry tree, right? We send you, right? Our payment processors, I mean, there's really just no, it's the greatest business in the world. It really, truly is the greatest business in the world. And believe me, I just described to you a multi-million-dollar business that's easy to free. And I'm telling you that this one's better. Okay? So you can take my word for that, or you can go try to figure all that crap out on your own. But I'm telling you right here is better. Anyway, so the point is that Sunshine was not going to fail in creating that business because the vision was clear. So between our little stuff, the mechanism appeared. Right? That doesn't mean it's going to cost a ton of money because we were just committed to solving those problems. So there's only results in that. There's only the outcomes. We were just stretching ourselves to learn new stuff, apply new skill sets, to find resources that we were sure had to be invented at this point. We just had to find where they were, uncover them. And live in the grand old world of Google, baby, it's not that hard to find those needles in those haystacks. The point is, folks, we have to create our world. We have to take charge of our life. We have to be committed to whatever it takes to succeed. That starts with knowing, who am I? So the reason I bring that up is because I'm absolutely 100% committed to I want you to say, I did to me. Not just wrong. I'm Rice. Walter Rice, rather. I'm sorry, Walter. Affirm it. You can do it. If you just apply this pattern into your life right now, starting today, within the next 20 minutes, I'm going to outline how simple and easy this can be. Now, just to be clear, for those of you who may not have been invested in this idea up to this point, we're actually on day 8, I think now, of the Mind, Money, Body, the 60-day Mind, Money, Body Total Transformational Challenge. Amber Clark, baby. I'm committed to Amber Clark too. Love it. Just Kristen Dark almost me so. I would like for you to sincerely get the results in your life that I, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you're worthy to receive. You always be prepared to maybe take some arrows into people to call you crazy, simply because you're not following the same routine that you've always followed in the past. Maybe for once, you're just going to do something different. Mind and body. Tony Robbins says that our outcomes will be determined by the that we ask ourselves. Questions. If you've heard the saying before, there's no such thing as a stupid question. We don't have a shadow of a doubt that there are better questions. We know that all transformational benefits and experiences in our life come from either half of inspiration and half desperation. The desperation creates the demand. When there is a painful experience in your life, even if something is a little bit uncomfortable, even if it's just slightly annoying, I want you to really take a second to absolutely get infuriated that that is existing in your space. You know? I, Jason Spurlock, am pissed off that I'm laying in bed for an hour in the afternoons taking a nap. I'm sick of wasting time. If I calculate this out, I'm going to give this a measurable quantitative analysis here. If I calculate this out by living out over 4,000 days of my life, 40 years are going to be spent sleeping in the afternoons, whatever the case may be. You must make demands of this mind and body exercise. You must not, when Diane Hoffman says, you have to say, I'm committed, and she give me permission. You have to give me permission right now to ask you, are you committed? And then to affirm it. I'm in. Network marketing VT, folks, is not hard. Rocket science and neurosurgery is hard. Contrast. This is not hard. Get back on the wagon, bro. Let's go. Big Mike says you ain't got 4 lives to live, and we ain't cats. No. You, my friends, are going to die. So it reads me that I have this right for the wastebasket here thingy on the screen. Is actually a lesson that was taught to me that I applied in my life in December. You see, when I was creating Network Marketing VT, I was kind of judgmental of myself. I was really taking everything that I was a perfectionist. I was a perfectionist, and I was scared. I was scared of what other people would think of me. And actually, it wasn't even so much, even in hindsight, what other people would think of me. And it really wasn't even afraid of failure. The truth of the matter is, when I really got down to the crux of the deal, I was afraid, what is this going to be like when I'm successful? How's my life going to change? I think the people that know me today, who have been in this community since we launched, would recognize Jason Spurlock as a totally different individual, right? And it's not good or bad. It's just because we've been on the process of doing this for so long and things have changed. But the bottom line is that you, in order to get to this place that you have created in that vision of your mind, that future that's going to pull forward, you cannot judge yourself. What would happen? You want a very interesting little thought? You remember, for those of you who have been in this community for a little while, remember that old school video that we had that we launched? This company with? It was pretty hypey. Be here if we still had that old video. That was greatly attractive. Three buddies, and we sent these 10 emails. We just said, hell, man, maybe people will like it. We don't know. Let's just try it out. Have an attitude that you're just testing everything. Have an attitude that when you're writing an advertisement or you're writing a piece of sales copy, you're writing an 8-10, for God's sakes, that you're going to write it down on a piece of paper. I mean, you're writing for the wastebasket, and that's a great exercise so that you won't take yourself so seriously. When you're doing your mornings, when you're going through this insanity challenge, or the P90X, or whatever your flavor of the day is, a lot of people say, well, I'm just not in the shape I was when I was 20 years old. Of course you're not in the shape that you were 20 years old. That doesn't mean that you have to hate yourself. I mean, come on. Yeah, it sucks. It's hard and blah, but don't judge where you are today. Create the future, man. Let it. Just do it. I know that it sucks. I know you're tired. I know you're sweaty. I know you're sore. I know that you've got stuff to do, but you've also got an important meeting with the most important person that you know. That's you. You've got an important meeting with the most important person that you know. Put 2 feet on the floor. Put your shoes on. Get your shorts on. Be a man, son. done. You just got to take the next step. Know the result, know the purpose, take the action. Massive action. Here's a more generalized concept that most of you will be able to relate to. What about if I thought, man, damn, I'm really putting myself out here in front of everybody, or maybe even worse, nobody, or maybe better, I don't know. Maybe I want to just try something, and maybe I'm going to either make myself look like a fool in front of everybody, or maybe just no one's going to show up. Maybe I'm going to be hollering into a can here. And that's the wake up to success call. I mean, would most of you agree that that's been a valuable thing for this community and for even my life personally in 10 months? Yeah, I think so. I'm very, very proud of what that's become. It's really, really cool hearing those voices and seeing the lines fill up. And it's like totally awesome. I know like how good of a job that I've done, for example, on those wake-up calls when sales come in immediately after. Sincerely. I mean, I've got this down to a science now. I'll gauge how many people was on the call versus how many sales came in the door. And that's kind of my metric of the day. If I didn't do too well, I'll just get better tomorrow. But imagine that you just never started it in the first place. Imagine that you just never, imagine that you know, can you see yourself being Mia Davies on video? I'm going to do this video diary. I'm going to record one. Learn a little bit about the lighting and maybe. So let's talk about a daily method of operation really quick. How can you do this? Once you've got your future created, what are some of the daily steps that you can take? Now, many of you will recognize this slide from last week. The video guy that we're working with now, Ray, who has done videos for like Andy Jenkins, Mike Keenings, Russell Brunson, you name it, Dan Kennedy. I mean, this guy's video boss, man. He's the boss behind the boss. I mean, the video boss on the internet's like Andy Jenkins, right? Quote unquote. Well, this is the video boss. This is that creates the videos for the boss. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, he gave me this quote last week, and I think it's absolutely profound when it comes to like gauging our results. There's always a process map in place for every action, every outcome, every result. There's always a specific steps to take. There are no shortcuts. I don't give a damn what anybody's told you. There are no shortcuts. You have to earn everything that you get. It's called earnership. Trust me on this. If somebody just gave it to you, it would not do a damn thing for you if you did not earn it. Winning the lottery. You want to ruin somebody's life? Give them a bunch of money and expect nothing in return. It will totally destroy them because they did not earn it. When something that you're trying doesn't work, you either have the wrong process or the wrong method. When you surround yourself with the right people, and the 6- and 7-figure income earners, sometimes 8-figure income earners, the wake-up calls, the Diane Hoffmans, the Vanessa Duplessis, the Jason Spurlocks, the Pamela Hermans, you get the idea. The Rhonda and Brian Swan. What you gauge these results is, number one, do not judge yourself, but surround yourself with them, because this immersion principle states very clearly that you will get the same results as the 5 people that you've most closely associate yourself with. That gives you the right map, you can follow and mirror that. This is one of the graphs that we talked about on our wake up in our webinar last week. Just daily method of operation. In a second, I'm going to give you like 10 steps that I do. It's my daily method of operation. People ask me all the time, well, daily method of operation, what's yours, Jason? We want yours. I'm going to show you how boring mine is, and it's called routine. It's like taking Adam Chandler's advice the other day. Routine, routine, routine. It's consistency, consistency, consistency. Just the same lessons that my high school honor choir teacher taught me. God rest her soul, Miss Frazier. One of the things that they'll teach you is the same lesson they'll teach you on Broadway. High school honor choir, Broadway. What do they have in common? The show, baby, must go on. The show must go on. We do not cancel that damn wake-up call under any circumstance. It's always there. These webinars have never been canceled one time since this company was in existence. They never will. That you know, that is you. Daily method of operation. So this graph is very clear. All you have to do is like copy this thing out, and you can get a piece of notepad paper, or I'm sure you can find something like this on the internet and print it out if you're like every time that you complete all of your actions, 5, day 6, you get the idea? Mark, please, somebody please, and make 60 little boxes right here. And every day that we do 60, we do all of our DMO stuff. We're just going to like highlight one of these boxes, and then let's see where we're at. Now, just like any good workout series, okay? Just like any good workout series, they always ask you to take a before, a middle, and an after picture. Before, middle, after. It's important that you give yourself some contrast again. Give yourself a gauge of where you started from, why am I here, and where am I going, right? Anyway, I think you get the point. Is if you don't fill out one of these little doohickeys up here, you got to fill in the failures, man. Okay? Personal responsibility and accountability. It's the #1 name of the game. What am I to experience when I do receive my goal? How am I going to feel if I do not? How am I going to feel when I do up here? How will I feel if I do not? Then all you have to do is say, what am I absolutely positively committed to doing every single day until I achieve my goal? What am I absolutely positively committed to doing every single day until I achieve my goal? We shared this DMO from Dana Tisdale on the webinar last week, and I actually pulled this from her blog, right? So it's on Google, baby. I can use it. I love Dana Tisdale. Here's her DMO in a nutshell. This is 4 steps. There it is. No. Ready for the big, profound, big woohoo Jason Spurlock's exciting DMO? I mean, are you ready to experience all the power and the results in your life that Jason Spurlock does? I'm sorry, man. I can't really oversell this because it's pretty boring. It really is. I live a very simple, boring life. Most people might. Day mapped out in my head. I would think about it like, for real, what are the cool, important things? And it's immediately upon waking, because my mind is still in that almost like a subconscious, like this alpha wave kind of state. You know what I mean? Like half asleep. And I'm going to embed this into my subconscious. It's a dominant force until my cerebral cortex awakens up and starts firing off into vast traffic, like bam, 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 and taking over and ruining your day, called distraction. I just allow this, it's an activity for me. Just before I even get out of bed, my alarm goes off at 8 o'clock, and it's a great time to sit and think and meditate. You just be grateful, and you come just breathe, and you just allow yourself to slowly come up. Think about those Stephen Covey, those 7 habits of highly effective people in that book, of what he tells you. In fact, this is also in the performance coaching webinar series, the performance coaching series, archive videos in the back office. Okay, so this is back there as well if you want to go through an hour-long exercise with Jamie Barclay. He says, Stephen Covey says that we need to focus on the long-term, important, but not urgent things. The urgent things will always present themselves as distraction. Urgency will always and manifestation. Never really had. I've had 2 signed copies of books, and one was from my favorite basketball coach you hear me talk about all the time, John Calipari, and the other signed copy is. So I love Wally Buffalo. My DMO, dude, right there. I have a DMO for my Facebook status, and that's it, dudes. I'm sorry. I might get on there and check it out if there's something important that comes across my cell phone. But my rule is that if I ever get on Facebook after it's like my minute allotted time, it's either for business reasons for this community, right, for promotion and advertising or whatever. It is a money-making activity, or to provide value, or I will only do it from my cell phone. Because my cell phone, I can't really do all the features and functions. It's just a pain in the ass to go down a bunch of wormholes on Facebook cell phone app stuff. So that's kind of my rule. Update the Facebook status, man, after the 3 cups of coffee in the morning. It's about 9 o'clock. You can set your clock by it, baby. That's if you ever see my updates, 3 of my DMO. Know what I mean? Give my team what they need for the day. This is the the developers, the programmers, the graphic designers, we've got customer support and admin stuff. So I get them what they need so that they're taken care of right away. So that they're not waiting on me. I mean, on the phone all day, right? But obviously by this time, it's it's getting to be, by the time I up to SoundCloud, that's about 12:15. This is going to put me close to 1 o'clock. This is going to put me 2 o'clock. This is going to put me to the rest of the day, man. And then you got webinars at 8:30 and stuff like that. And that turns in. I don't do the 4-hour work week. Sorry, I wish. I think that dude's a liar, man. It don't apply to my life. But overall, I'm not doing too shabby. I work my tail off, and I think most people know that. I'm committed to you. But that's really my stuff. That's it. What's yours? For example, calling back the leads that responded. It's legal, banks, blah, blah, blah. I mean, is yours like Facebook ads, Craigslist ads, solo ads, flyering the cars that we talked about in the past, whatever? You know, is this your emails, whether you're responding to the email that you received overnight or whatever, and maybe you're going to send out an email to your list, maybe promoting a webinar like this, maybe whatever. Yours is just a data from this. Your prep for the wake-up call might be your email time. You know, the truth of the matter is, I would think that, you know, most people, if you sincerely wanted to create a good little home business routine for yourself, 1 through 5 is the same for me. And I'm being ridiculous here. You can go to odesk.com and you can find somebody to be your virtual assistant for your phone calls, emails, and most of your business related stuff for like $1.50 an hour. Not kidding. Like, it costs you less than $70 a week to hire someone full time that speaks really good English. So, you know, hey man, you want to leverage some of your time and effort. But the gist of the matter is that, for example, this time, number 6, has to be spent incredibly productive and focused. You have to get really clear about placing the ads to have the people come in so that it's even worth it to pay $70 a week to have somebody do this. You know, I host a wake-up call. Is this your video? What are you prepping for right here? See what I'm saying? Apply this to you. Anyway, the bottom line is that we're getting into the meat and potatoes of last week's stuff. So I'm going to wrap there. I'm going to questions or comments at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to go here soon. Create from nothing, my vision in action. Hey, Amber, man, great. That's seriously, create from nothing. She says that's leadership. Amber Clark, thank you so much, my friend. Here's the deal. Imagine. And we've sincerely turned that idea. It's Big Mike says, how many lifetimes it right? You've got one, baby. So get your head screwed on straight and take a bite out of life. You only have one life to live, and give. So give your utmost and for his highest. Thank you, my friend. Amber writes, I'm committed to being better tomorrow than I am today. Congratulations on that, my lady. You absolutely deserve that. Every day in every way, I'm getting better. Thank you, Tracy. I love that. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every day in every way, I'm getting faster and faster. That's Tony Robbins' incantations from his Hour of Power. Check it out. You can even find the free MP3s on Google. They're awesome. See how I know that? Ha 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 ha. I don't have any experience to do those things every morning. Days. I'm struggling every day trying to promote your community. What can I do? Make a decision to do it, first of all. Really, I mean, what do you mean you don't have any experience? Of course, you know, whatever. I could never do a 4-hour workday, never mind a week. It's true, me too. Jamie says, my son is in the room listening to you talk. He asked me if this was about business. I told him it was about motivation. Can you give him a shout out? He is listening intently. Merrick Chester. Merrick, you're a patriot. And Linda says, this is not a dress rehearsal. No, that is absolutely not. And everybody says it's really easy to commit